let's go ahead and get into these questions. You know, we definitely talk about, you know, the daily. And I wanted to have this conversation because, you know, everybody believes or has this idea of what men go through on a daily basis. And I'm going to tell you, and I was talking to my brother about this, and, you know, I was kind of explaining what I was going through day after day and some of the things and some of the struggles that I was going through, you know, both mentally, emotionally, and everything.
Mhm.
But, you know, I'm not going to take over the mic, so I'm going to go ahead and throw these questions out there, and, you know, we're going to go ahead and get into this topic. So my first question is what do you think is your everyday struggle?
Everyday struggle.
Everyday struggle. My first one is getting out the bed. That's my first struggle. That's my first struggle. You know, age play a big factor in that.
You ain't bullshitting.
Man, I don't know this, so I'll tell you something.
That's a hell of a struggle getting out that damn bed.
We have to really get mentally prepared for the whole day because we gonna have struggles throughout the whole it ain't just gotta be work. You be going to the gas station, getting in your car.
Mm-hmm.
We got to constantly watching what's going on in our environment, what's going on. Mm-hmm. We got to watch what we say because everything's so different now. We just got to be mentally prepared and tight for everything. As soon as you slip, that's when something gonna happen.
You ain't never lied.
That's when something gonna happen.
Yeah.
That's just how it is.
For me, what was it? Damn, what was the question? Damn, that's fucked up.
What do you think your everyday struggle is?
For me, my everyday struggle, I wouldn't even say it's a struggle for real. I think it's just me being a real man and a father, making sure that my household is protected and making sure everything good before I leave and do anything. That's my struggle because there's so much stuff that you can forget before you leave the house to do.
Take care of your family. So.
Yeah, that's it's a hell of a struggle when everything. Not saying my wife don't work or not saying my wife don't do nothing, but being the man of the house, knowing you're the first, second, third, fourth, and fifth line of defense.
Yeah,
that's my struggle right there.
You know, for me, and just to kind of explain the difference, you know, these two men, they are married, and you know, we know I'm the single one, so for tax purposes, I'm single. So it's always difficult. For me, being the oldest child and having siblings under me, I know that they're looking up to me, and there is a reliance that they have. They may not admit it because they be like, "Oh, we don't rely on you," or nothing. But there is a level of reliance and obligation that I have to them being the oldest one, even if they're not watching.
Responsibility being the oldest.
I still got to always be at the top of my game and feel like I'm the example.
Yeah, that's a fact.
And not only is that in my immediate family, but it also seems to gravitate towards like friends and stuff like that,
cousins,
where you know people rely on you for certain things, and it may not be everything that they need, but it's certain things that they rely on you on, and they want you to be there and be involved, and you just kind of like, man, like you just wonder if there's ever a break, right?
Hell no, you're a man. It's not a break. You need a break, but it's not one.
Exactly. And going back to Kelly's statement, which is like, you know, you always got to look over your shoulder. I mean, it's like that in my own community. It's like that when I'm out in suburban neighborhoods, you know, always looking on my shoulder. I'm not doing anything wrong, but then I kind of think like, dang, what if the police do roll up on me and think that I'm somebody else? What if the police do kind of like, I'm always on the swivel. There's never a time where not even sitting in my car, just going home, do I feel like there's nothing that's going to happen?
Facts.
There's not going to be a situation that occurs where I'm just going to be like, you know what? You know, today is one of those days where I'm going to go home and, you know, I'm going to be at peace. I'm not at peace driving.
Hell no.
Because, you know, police ride anywhere near my car. I'm nervous. Is it going to put me over? No, for what reason? Am I going to make it home?
And that should be natural.
And it's not. It's not. You know, walking out the door.
Actually, that is that's a natural feeling for a black man.
A natural feeling. Just walking across the street and I
got experiences.
And I see other racists sitting in their cars, and I'm like, dang, which one of them hate me that want to run me over right now?
That's paranoia.
Just because they have this perception of who I am, not even knowing who I am.
Not at all.
And then sometimes, you know, whether I'm at work or whatever, I just feel like there's always this stigma. Is like, you're black, so you always got to do more. You're black, you always got to be always on the top of your game.
100%, yes.
And then with that thought process, it makes me feel undervalued, and then I got to push and go harder.
And they wonder why we all have anxiety so bad. They try to figure out why men mostly is going insane or have real bad mental issues. Because we got 134 different things going through our mind. I'm not like I said, I am not downplaying the woman. We're talking about men.
Right.
We have no outlet unless we come to our fellas and kick it with them and they're on the same level. If it's a person that's up under us, he gonna look at us like, oh man, you crying, you got a job, you got a good job, you making money. That's not what I want to hear.
They don't know.
They have no idea. With this good job, with this money, come great responsibility.
Yes.
And if you don't have it or not striving for it, you're not going to know.
Nope.
Not at all.
Not at all. So